With respect to the techniques for revision, there's a summary here on the first slide of read and memorize, summarize notes, list of key words, some kind of diagrammatical representation, and also questions and answers. These can obviously be broken down into several subsections. This slide follows on from the last in terms of developing your own techniques for revision. Again, can be used for children in class to help them differentiate revision techniques. One of another favourites is revision cards, using one topic per card. Basically you need to list ideas on the card for the topic, and you can use these inside and outside school, even while travelling to school on the bus, for example. Past paper exam questions, they're a very good format for testing your knowledge in respect of exam format, so you know at the end of the day what type of question is going to be asked, and looking at the mark schemes which are available on the internet or through your teachers and schools, what type of answer they're expecting. Another revision aid is to use a mini revision booklet, creating up to 10 A4 sheets of paper using both sides to put down all of the things that you need to remember in short note form. Mind maps are a common usage for diagrammatical representation, in other words, using a picture to tell the words. Key symbols, colours, cross-linkages, which means basically drawing lines between things. Use thicker lines to make sure if it's a major link or a major idea that is joined to something else. Here's part of an example of one mind map for time management. You can see the clarity is conveyed by the idea of the cat in detail in the beginning, with an arrow showing a clearer, more simplified version. The proviso, of course, is that you cannot just use a diagram within the exam. Mentioned earlier, the study and revision guides, obviously they're not the answer to everything, but they do assist you in your revision. Make sure you get recommendations from your teachers for the syllabus and course you are doing. Within revision, it's also useful to make sure that you have got targets so you can check your progress. They are generally based on the SMART, SMARTer targets. I have included, I admit in very small print, summary about the exam itself. Basically the instructions that students should already know, but to read questions and all instructions carefully, know exactly how many questions you have to answer, and carefully note how many constraints, such as answer one question from each section, or answer 2 questions from section A and 1 from section B, etc. Speed read the paper to get an idea of what the questions are in it. Then read each question carefully and thoroughly to make sure you understand it to know what it's asking. Read all parts of the question before deciding whether or not to answer it. It's all very well starting the question and then finding that you don't know the information about a third of the way through. Try and work out how much time you will need to answer each question, and allow some time at the end to check and read your questions through and your answers. Try to write neatly. If you're doing mathematical calculations, always show you're working. An important point in science. Simply stating that an answer will not get full marks. If you get a question partially correct and you've shown you're working confident, then you will get some marks. Relax as much as possible and clearly and keep confident. Read the number of marks for each question. If it says 3 marks, then generally you have to put 3 separate points or a fuller answer. Use what you know to the maximum effect and remember to answer the question. Do the questions you feel most confident about first. It doesn't matter which order you do them in. This will help build your confidence, and you may find yourself remembering more things. Sometimes intense thought while answering a question can ease understanding. If you find this is not happening, then move to another question. Keep thinking positively and do the best you can. Answer as much as you can. If, after reading a question, you generally feel it is ambiguous or too broad, state this in the first part of your answer and then briefly explain the reason for attempting to question in a particular way. The examiner will then have a better chance of empathizing with your answer. Answer the question and relax. If you've done your revision carefully, you will pass the exam with flying colours.